Hi everybody, welcome back. So today we have a really exciting video, hopefully. I'm going to be propagating begonias, which are pretty tricky plants because they're very, they've got a lot of water in them. They're kind of succulent-y, but in a way that makes them rot pretty easily. They're kind of picky about how they like to be propagated. So what we're going to be doing today is trying two different methods. So I've got the, I have 6 different pots. I don't know if you can see it. My phone is at a weird angle, just letting you know I had to make an entire apparatus to be able to film so you can see what I'm doing and see my face at the same time. And my phone is taped really precariously and I really hope it doesn't fall because the screen is already cracked. So hopefully that goes well. Also, hopefully this is actually filming because, well, I guess I have more begonias. Anyway, we're gonna get started. So, what you can do is do stem cuttings or leaf cuttings. I'm gonna be doing the stem cuttings first because that's a little easier. So what we're gonna do is take our little begonia, and I've got my pruners here, and we're gonna cut off the end there just to make a fresh wound, and it's got some different nodes, so we're gonna expect the roots to start forming a couple nodes up because this is probably going to rot a bit. And we're gonna give it a little extra help with some rooting hormone here. So I've got my handy dandy rooting hormone, and we are just going to dip it in and tap it off and then stick it in like that. So I'm gonna do that with the other two as well. And you want to get it at an angle because it gives it a bit more surface area to be able to root from and take in the hormone. So that's that. And next what we're going to do is leaves. So leaves are kind of tricky, and so what we're going to do is cut off 3 of, let me try to get the largest leaves. They've got more surface area. The large ones are kind of crinkly. So you should use a razor blade for this. I had one, I don't know where it went, which is kind of concerning because now there's just like a razor blade floating around my house. But you're gonna want to cut 3 leaves off, and you want to include the petiole, that little stem-ish part there. So you want to include that. So cut your leaves off. And then what we're gonna do is, you see how it has these veins underneath? Hopefully it's focusing on it. There's veins of the leaf in there, and that's where the new plantlets will form from. So what you're gonna do is make small cuts in the veins, and that will like create a wound which can stimulate root growth. So I'm gonna go ahead and just make tiny cuts in there. And if all goes well, each wound should result in like a new little plantlet peeking out. So I don't know if you can see, but they're not like huge gashes in there or anything. So next I'm gonna do is dip that in the rooting hormone, tap it off, and put this in the soil. So it's important to have full contact with the soil. You don't want it to be like floating on top of it with just the petiole in there. You want it to have like full surface area contact with it. So make sure to press it in there. So I'm gonna do that 2 more times. So there's those 3. And next what I'm gonna do is I'm going to cover these with plastic wrap, just to add more humidity because we don't want these to dry out. The humidity helps the plant be able to propagate, because if it's losing water, we won't be able to put energy into creating roots, so we want to make it a nice cozy environment. So I'm going to go do that and then check back in with you. Okay, so what I've done is put some plastic wrap over these with a rubber band, and I've sprayed them with some water. It's not shower stuff, it's water. So I've sprayed these. I sprayed these as well, and I'm gonna try to remember to spray them every day, maybe multiple times a day. I might end up bringing them to campus to put in the mist house, So that's that, and I also thought it'd be cool to show you a different kind of begonia because these have bigger leaves, so it might be easier to see what's going on, and they might have more chance of rooting. These small leaves, they're kind of crispy. I got the cuttings yesterday, but I think they had some water loss, so I'm a little worried about how those are going to turn out. So I thought I should try it with this as well, just for fun, to see how it goes. So again, I'm gonna cut the leaf off, including the petiole. Let's try to find a really healthy looking leaf. This one looks good. And then I'm going to make some minor incisions in the leaf veins. I want you to be able to see it. Let's see if I come around like this. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing. So now I'm going to dip it in my rooting hormone. Okay, got that. And then place that in here. And this one doesn't want to stay down to the soil surface like I was mentioning. It's popping back up and it really needs that soil contact. So what I'm gonna do is I've got this pipe cleaner. I'm gonna cut it in half. And I'm just gonna hold it down. Let's do another one. I'm not poking it through the plant, I just went like around it so that it's touching the soil surface there. And then I'm gonna do the same thing, misting it. And then I'm going to cover it with plastic wrap and then check back in with you. So here's the final setup. I ended up propagating a lot more. I had a bunch of begonia pieces left over and I felt bad for them. So I put these guys all together. I propagated the rest of these guys. I've got these in their plastic wrap. Hopefully some of them survive. They're kind of tricky. They also take about a month or so to root. They're very slow growing. This tiny little begonia in the middle of these snake plants here, that's about a year old from propagating from the leaf method. So they grow really slowly. And I also wanted to update you about the Tradescantia zebrina from last week's video. It's doing really well. All of the cuttings are thriving and the plant is filling out. So that is the end of today's video and thank you so much for watching.